Good morning, good morning. Sorry about the shadow. I have the camera kind of over the table so you guys be able to see. And give me a few minutes. I'm gonna pull it up on my iPad just so I won't miss any questions or anything like that, and then we'll get started. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started now. I thought it would be okay. That's better. Okay, so today I'm going to make some simple skirts. I think I'm gonna do two different styles. Well, I know I'm gonna do two different styles. For this third one, the client bought this fabric, so I'm not sure where she got it from. If she happens to catch the live, she can post it. Now the lives kind of stay up. It won't stay up in a group. It'll be up in the on YouTube. I leave the live up on YouTube to go back and watch it. That way it's easier to find and stuff like that. So I think on this one, I'm going to just do the regular simple skirt. On the Dunkin' Donuts one, I'm going to do the simple skirt, but more flowy, if that makes sense. And then on this one, I think I'm going to do a flowy simple skirt, but I'm going to do it as overalls. Now, she bought a lot of fabric, so I'm not sure if I may add like a scrunchie or purse and some other stuff just so I can utilize all her fabric. Unless she wants it back, she can let me know if anything is left over if she want it back. But I don't want to make it too matchy. But she can always, like, if I do a purse and a scrunchie, she can always use that with like a regular white t-shirt and some jeans. If I do like the little anklets, she can always switch it up. She don't have to wear it all together, but that way I'm just using up her fabric. Also, I do keep my measurements right here in a book, so I will put the measurements down below. Since this is a skirt and I just took forever to get her stuff to her, I've been having this fabric for quite some time, but she wasn't in a rush. I'm finally slowing down where I can actually make something that's not an order per se. So I am going to make this as a 3T, because last time I made her baby's outfit, it was a 2T. But just in case she wants to wear it for when it gets warmer outside, since it is skirts, I'm going to make it a 3T. The waist size between a 3T and a 2T is only a half of an inch difference, so it won't make that much of a difference for waist size. And it's also just a half of an inch longer, so it should be fine whether it's a 3T or 2T. She could probably still wear it now. My skirts, they're not, I try to make them knee length. However, they might be on a little shorter side. I don't like real long skirts, so you can adjust your measurements how you see fit. So let's get started. On this one will be just the basic. I'm going to cut everything out right now, and then we'll take it over to the serger. I moved my serger so you guys can see me serge. You don't have to use a serger, but if you want to, you can use a serger to do this. I would definitely be using a serger. It's a lot faster, but it's not required, but it goes a lot faster to me. So, oh, you're gonna need elastic, scissors, and of course a sewing machine. So, the width of this fabric, I believe, is like 36 inches long. If I'm not mistaken, again, I didn't buy this, so I'm not 100% sure. But whatever your width is, I leave the width as is, and then I just cut the length. And this is going to be a not so flowy, simple skirt. So, leave the width exactly how it is. Make sure your fabric is going the correct direction if you have a printed fabric. And for the length on this one, for 3T, I'm going to cut it at 13.5 inches. When I'm finished, it'll be about 12 inches. Once you do the elastic, once you hem it and all that, it'll put you around 12 inches, depending on how wide your elastic is. Now, my elastic is 7/8 of an inch. Right. 7/8 of an inch or 3/4 of elastic, about the same size. Is not that much difference. So it's going to put me at about a 12-inch long skirt. I apologize. It's kind of repeating on the iPad, so I'm getting a little bit distracted. And this is a very, very, very simple way to make a skirt. So we done cutting this one. On the Dunkin' Donuts, this will be my more flowy one. So this one I have to refold because it's the wrong direction. So you just, oh, sorry, hit the camera. And this is cotton fabric, as you can see, 100% cotton. Hold on, I'm going to fold it off the table. Make it easier. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I guess I should put in my AirPods, but they're very annoying to me. So I'm going to cut it the same length. The only difference between the extra flowy skirt is I'm going to cut two pieces of it, if that makes sense. So I'm going to cut it twice. And then we're going to sew those two pieces together to make it extra flowy. And just keep in mind, whatever scissors you use for your fabric, try not to use them for nothing but fabric, because paper or anything else will dull out the scissors. So if they're fabric scissors, leave them just strictly for fabric. Now, the extra flowy skirts do kind of take up more, well, not kind of. It takes up more fabric. So if you want to make more items out of a piece of fabric, you might want to get more than a yard. I think she just got a yard. Again, if she joined the live or happened to watch the replay on YouTube, she can answer how much fabric she got. But I'm 99.9% sure it's a yard. And then she can also answer if she want to share where she got it from. Okay. That's skirt number 2. Put this off to the side. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to make the purse and scrunchie and all that on camera, just because I haven't decided what I'm going to do with the fabric. And I might, for her shirt, I might embroider an applique, and I need fabric left over for that. I really don't know what I'm going to do for this outfit. She told me to do whatever I want to do. So, with that being said, I'm not going to make anything until I get my head around what all I'm going to make and see how much fabric left over. Because for the extra flowies, it's usually not that much fabric left over. So, I can't be zealous with what I'm going to cut out, because then I won't have any fabric left. So remind you, this is going to be the overalls. So everything is the same, cutting it the same if it's all the same size. Now I just said that this would be overalls, but it might not be. Let me see if I have some black. I did not think about this fabric being a direction fabric. And I don't want my overalls. Okay, so had it been a solid color fabric, you would just cut the overall strips going this way. But with this being directional, that means when she put on the overalls, her overalls would kind of go this way. Versus, you want the overall straps to go this way since it's a pattern on the fabric. Let me see how long. Because normally I do a larger size overall, because yeah, that's not going to be enough. I should have did a simple skirt. I wasn't thinking that it's just a yard fabric. I should have did a simple skirt, and that way I would have had fabric left over for the straps. Is TJ on? Hey, Carrie. I don't know if TJ is on my live. Okay, before I cut the overall fabric out, we might... Let's make this one the overalls. Because clearly, I don't think she's on yet. And I want, since they're two Starbucks fabrics, I was trying to make them two separate type of skirts. That way they look totally different. So I'm just going to cut this one into an overall fabric. I mean, make this one into overalls. Because she's not on, and I don't think I like them going the wrong direction. So with the overalls, you're gonna refold the fabric with the it going the correct direction. And I can use this also with the scrunchie. So I'm gonna cut a long strip. Now, depending on how old the child is how long you want the overalls, right? So she's just a toddler. So usually for toddlers, I want my overalls about 18 to 20 inches. Well, 18 inch is 36 in length. But if you fold it over, just fold it over straight, you can just fold it over to the 18-inch mark and then cut one size strip. Now, I also do 18 inches when it comes to scrunchies. So this would be perfect just to do the scrunchies and everything out of this strip. So I'm cutting it at the 18-inch mark. And then for my overall straps, you can say how wide you want your strap. It's totally up to you. But I usually do mine about 4 inches wide to 5 inches wide. Because when you fold it over, so this is 5 inches. Hopefully you can see it. This is 5 inches. So when you fold it over, it's going to create a 2.5 inch strap about this wide. If you don't like it that wide, you can do a 4 inch. This is 4 inches. And that will be a 2-inch strap. So it's totally up to you. Since she's only 3, I'm going to do the 4-inch strap. I am going to fold it over and cut it as one piece. That way I can get 2 straps at one time. So I'm just folding it in half. And then this is my 4-inch line. And take in account for your salvage edge, because you don't want that inside your strap. So I'm going to push that off of the table just a little bit. And then I'm going to cut straight up for 4 inches. And then you have 2 straps. Okay, and then I put loops on my straps because I want her to be able to kind of tie it in the back with a bow. So I need 2 loops. So my loops, I usually cut them at 8 inches by 2 inches. Eight inches long, 2 inches wide. I'm trying to make sure I'm in the camera. So 7 to 9. And just keep in mind of your directions, because it's going to fold over this way to create a strap. And then once you sew it and everything else, you can adjust the loop how short you want it. So I always cut extra. But to me, it's easier to work with a longer loop. So there's my 2 straps right there. My loops, I'm sorry. So when you sew them and then you sew them, it's gonna create this loop. But you gotta sew it inside the skirt, so you'll probably have only this much for the actual loop once you put it, sew it down inside the skirt. So the overall skirt will definitely be last. We're gonna go ahead and get started with the 2 extra flowy skirts. And then you'll see the not so flowy look in this one. I'll just add straps to it. But hold on one second, and I'm going to flip the camera around. I'm gonna cover it just so flip y'all over to my serger and zoom. Let me see if I turn this way. Cupcake, I'm making some simple skirts for a toddler, a 3T. Okay, that way you can see on the serger. Okay. Now again, it's easier for me to serge the items than it is to sew it, and that's for me. You don't have to serge it. I moved my serger over here so you guys will be able to see. So let me just adjust my presser foot, see if I set this up correctly, because my serger sit on a different table and my child was playing with my other tripod and I don't know where I put it. I don't know where Dad put it, so I had to use the same tripod. So I had to move my serger. Okay. So what I like to do is serge the bottom first. I mean, no, I don't. This the extra gathered skirt. I'm sorry. So we're gonna move the two pieces. It seems like I'm so close. I'm zoomed in so close. Let me see. Sorry if I'm making y'all a little dizzy. Okay. So since this is the extra flowy one, I'm gonna get the two pieces of fabrics right size together. Make sure they're going in the same direction. And I'm going to serge the two pieces together first. So when I'm doing my hem on it, when I serge my raw edges, it'll be as one continuous piece. So I have the two right sides together. I'm gonna serge off this salvage edge and serge it together. Now, this serger doesn't have a fabric catcher. So where my serger normally sit, my husband built a hole in the table to catch my scraps as they cut, because this will cut off any extra fabrics over here. So you're gonna see my fabrics fall on the ground, because again, my serger doesn't sit here, not on the ground, on the table, but normally it will fall in a tray. But I had this serger for 12 years. I don't know what I did with the tray, so he just built a hole in the table. So just know that it usually have like a catcher for the fabric, but I'll just sweep it off and put it in the trash can right here. Okay, and when I sew, if I'm sewing multiple things, I do it like an assembly line. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the Dunkin' Donuts fabric the same way, right sides together, because it's easier for me if I sew in an assembly line, because that way I don't have to keep moving from side to side to the different machines. Because remind you, my sewing machine sits in the middle of my floor, my serger sits up against the wall. So I do everything at one time. That way I don't have to go back and forth. So I'm doing the Dunkin' Donuts now. It's called a chain stitch. All you do is keep the machine going. Just don't cut the fabric. I mean, don't cut the thread. And it's just like you're doing a chain stitch. I don't know why this one cut so short. So now I can clip the thread, because with the simple skirt, you don't need the sew two pieces together, because remember, we only cut out one piece for the one we're doing like an overall. So, however, we will sew the tops. Did I just sew the girl? Dunkin' Donuts. I think had a third. Oh, Dunkin' Donuts, I folded Dunkin' Donuts wrong. I cut two skirts out of Dunkin'. And I'm like, what? Oh, the same with Starbucks. How did I do that? Oh, because it was in, I doubled it twice. I'm sorry, y'all. So when I was folding the fabrics together, I doubled it twice. And it cut out two sets of skirts. It cut out 4 pieces when I didn't need 4 pieces. I apologize. So, yeah. So that means I did have enough No, I still wouldn't have had enough because it's the wrong one. Sorry, I talk to myself when I'm sewing just to, yeah, because sometimes I don't have patterns, so I make up stuff as I go. So I'm just gonna, I like to have clean edges. So this is the top where my elastic would be, but I still go ahead and serge it. When I get to the seam, I make sure it's folded down towards me and serge right on top of the seam. This prevents fraying as well. And then the Dunkin' Donut one, same thing. Make sure it's turned the right direction. Well, I guess I should have said that earlier because I didn't turn it the right direction when I serged the seams together. This is why I don't go live, y'all, because look, my brain be all over the place. So I just cut that off. Everybody make mistakes, not a big deal. You don't let the mistake stress you out. You just roll with it. So now I'm gonna make sure they turn the right direction. Right. So you always double check your work, and I'm gonna redo my two sides together. Redo my seam. Okay, and then I'm gonna redo the top to clean it off, because you see the serger gives it like a cleaner edge. So when you fold that elastic over, it's still not fraying on the inside. That's why I like the serger. If you do not have a serger, I can show you now, but I was gonna show you when I do the hem part. But all you have to do is do a double row. Hold on, let me move some of this trash because it's really bothering me. Mainly on hems, but I would do it where the elastic is, because see how this fabric frays? You don't want all that fraying and coming apart, because people might think their outfit is coming apart. So what you do is you fold it, hopefully you can see, you fold it in one, and some people press that seam down. I'm not big on pressing. And then you fold it over one more time to give yourself a clean edge. So I'm gonna show you again. Let me see if I can get some more light. So you fold it down just like, I don't know how much that is, 1/4 of an inch. I don't even think that's 1/4, 1/8 of an inch. That ain't even 1/8. Yeah, about 1/8 of an inch. And then you fold it under one more time, or 1/16 really. And then you sew it down if you don't have a serger. And then when you do your elastic, you're gonna have a clean hem when you do the casing for your elastic, okay? If you don't have a serger, that's what I would do. But it's so many outfits you can make with just a serger. So I love my serger, because I can make a full outfit with just a serger, other than the part where I need to put elastic. If it's a knit material, I don't need, for most parts, I probably don't even need my sewing machine unless I'm doing like a panty line, like if it was a swimsuit or something like that, or a neckline, then of course you need your sewing machine. But you could do a lot with just the serger alone. And mine wasn't that expensive. Again, I had it for 12 years. I don't remember how much it was, but it wasn't that expensive. Now, I don't have any sewing, any labels. However, if I did have a label, I like my seam to be on the side instead of down the back. So I would have put my label right here and then sew it down. So if you do have labels, I would stick the label in and sew it down right there on the side. That's me preferably. When I'm doing a simple skirt, I don't like to put the label at the back. That's just me. I like to put it in the seam of that's already that you're creating. For adults, I'm not gonna say I don't recommend a simple skirt, but it's gonna be a whole bunch of pieces of fabric you have to get put together to make the skirt look nice. So for adults, I prefer a circle skirt, and I can do a circle skirt at a later time. I don't sew a lot of adult clothing, but a circle skirt give you 0 seams. If you do a full circle skirt, you could do a half a circle skirt or a 3/4 of a circle skirt where you have 1 seam. But I like circle skirts when it comes to adults because you won't have all these seams. Because like for, say, my size, you might have to put 4 or 6 pieces together depending on how flowy you want it. So you're going to be walking around with a skirt with 6 seams in it. That's just not the look I would be going for. So I would not do a simple skirt for adults. I would do simple skirts just for basically kids. That's my preference. So we're going to come back and do the hem. Hey TJ, I needed you earlier, but I switched up. I switched up the way I made her because one of her outfits is going to be an overall, and I cut it as a extra flowy skirt, and the straps would have been going the wrong direction, and I didn't like that. I just decided against it. But I was going to ask you, did the direction matter? But it mattered to me, so you know, I know you would have been like, it don't matter. It mattered to me, so I just switched up which skirt is going to be the overall skirt, just FYI. Look at me sewing on my sewing machine instead of my serger. So this is the bottom. When you get to the seam on the bottom, instead of pushing the seam towards you because it's already laying flat the opposite way, you're going to keep it flat going away from you. So this is the bottom where we're going to do the hem in. Right here, you're going to push the seam away from you and hold it down flat because you want your seams going the same direction. And then this one, just kind of sew a little bit and then come back to the second Now, I could have went ahead and did the overall skirt, but I didn't want to confuse y'all since it's made a little different. That's why I'm not doing the top and the bottom of it. But I do that next. But technically, you could have went ahead and did the top and the bottom of the overall skirt. But I'm just going to do that all the way separate. Okay, when I get here, hold the seam down away from me. Okay, so then we have our two skirts. Now what I do, you can do the elastic one or two ways. You can go ahead and do your hem here and feed the elastic through. And then sew the ends together. So you would do your, I'm sorry, not hem, casing. You would do your casing, take it to the sewing machine, use your seam allowance, put your elastic there, close the casing, and then feed your elastic through. However, when you do it that way, when you get to the end right here, you're going to have elastic sticking out. So you sew that elastic down. I don't like that look. So what I do is I go ahead and make a circle now. And I would do my casing while the skirt is in a circle. So I'm going to take my next two ends and I'm going to sew them together, serge them together. And that way when I do my casing, it'll be one continuous loop to do my casing. I don't want elastic sticking out right here and then do my seams. I want it to be one continuous loop when I add my elastic. So I'm going to go ahead and do my last seam together. And this is another reason why I put the seams on the side, because you got two seams. You don't want one in the front and one in the back. Well, I don't want one in the front and one in the back. So if you're making one skirt, you'll have one continuous loop right now. Hopefully you guys can see that, because I know I'm zoomed in kind of close. Okay, so time for the Dunkin' Donuts. I knew it didn't matter to you, TJ, but my OCD kicked in and I was like, yeah, I'm not going to have that fabric. It probably wouldn't have even shown that much either, but my brain was like, yeah, I'm not going to have that fabric going the wrong direction. It probably would have showed all green, but my brain wouldn't let me do it. Okay, so the second skirt, same thing. So your two seams together, two sides together, creating your second seam. And honestly, if I was not doing two skirts at once, this skirt is real simple. It really can be made within 10 to 15 minutes. It's that simple of a skirt. But since we're doing multiple skirts, that's why it's taking a little bit longer. But it literally is that simple of a skirt where you can get it done in 10 to 15 minutes. Now, a non-flowy skirt is what we're doing right now. So it's just one piece of fabric. So it's not going to be, it's going to be more like, almost like a pencil skirt in a sense. Just because she had two Starbucks fabrics and I didn't want two to be flowy. That's why I'm doing one as a more of a pencil skirt, the overall one. versus flowy. It's still going to be flowy on her because, again, this fabric is about 36 inches wide and her waist is only 18 inches. So it's going to create a small gather, 19 inches. I'm sorry, I'm doing the 19-inch elastic. So it's going to create a small gather on her. However, if you was doing 72 inches on a 19-inch waist, it's going to create more gathers to make it more flowy. Hopefully all that made sense because it made sense in my brain. So this is the overall. So we're going to serge everything together at once so then I can move my serger out the way. Since this is one piece of fabric, it's way more simple. And again, in the beginning where I cut the fabric twice, you only have to cut the fabric once. Don't cut it twice because you'll make 2 sets of skirts. Or, yeah, depending on if it's simple or flowy. If you cut it twice for a simple one, then it make 4 skirts. So, TJ, I love you. I messed up on your fabric. Okay? So, I'm going to put these skirts in my shop because I got extra skirts. Love you. Out of a yard of fabric, you can essentially make 4 skirts at least and have enough left over for a little scrunchie or something. You can at least make 4 skirts out of out of 1 yard of fabric. I'm sure TJ don't want 4 of the same skirts. I might do something different. Might make her like a little top with her extra fabric or something. I don't know what I'm gonna do. If I don't make a top, then again, it will be in my shop. Because I don't like it too matchy with everything. The top, the anklets, the scrunchie, the purse, everything in the same fabric. So I haven't decided yet. But just in case. Since it was her fabric, I'm just letting her know. So for the overalls, since we're on the overalls, I'm going to go ahead, because I serge everything, I'm going to go ahead and serge my straps. And then my loops. That way I'm working on the same machine, and it's like you're doing an assembly line. And you won't be moving all over the place when you're sewing in bulk. That's one strap. And when you're serging, you're just trying to make sure you got both fabrics together. mean both straps. I mean both pieces of fabric. I'm sorry. Okay, and the loops. If y'all have any questions, please ask. Feel free. Don't be shy. A lot of stuff I either don't do with a pattern, or I take a pattern and I might merge some stuff and stuff like that. So please, if you have questions, feel free. So I'm just going to take this safety pin to flip my loops inside out, and then I'm going to do the same with the straps. Now they have like, I don't know if y'all watch this girl, her name is Tyra or something like that. She makes scrunchies. She created this little flip thing that flips her fabric inside out. I can't never do this right, y'all. I mean, like, I use so big of a safety pin, but she makes something that flips her thing. I keep asking Kelvin to make me one, even though I don't know how to use it. She showed you how to use it and stuff. I'll try to link her video in the group, but it's really cool. She just got this stick and it just flips the fabric inside out. Now they do have like turners and all that stuff. To me, I ain't gonna say it's easier, but I use the safety pin. Sometimes on the smaller like loops, it does take a minute to get the safety pin or to get the fabric to flip inside out. I'm sure it might be an easier way. My brain just works different sometimes, so this is the way I flip it. I'll make sure the next one I have in the camera better. There we go. I didn't cut my press machine on. I should have had my press machine on to press this down. I did not. I'm going to get my little iron and press it down. Okay, and then when you're doing the loop part, I like to, because this is exposed, I like to serge my ends together. So when I did 8 inches, I don't need, unless you want a big loop, I don't need that much of a loop. So I'm going to serge it about right here. Probably take off about 2 inches, 1.5 inches. I told you I'm a finger person, so I take off about 1.5 inches, because you're still going to sew it down. So about this much loop will be out. So I'm going to take off about 2 fingers, which for my fingers is about 1.5 inches. Want a clean stitch, so I stitch it together like this for my loop. Then we flip the other one. And then again, if y'all have better ways to flip it, speak up. I did that too low. I just put the pin in it. It'll be easier with the straps, but you get the idea. And then flip it through. It's all about pin placement too. Not too low, not too high. And it'll flip a lot easier. Okay, so I'm trying to smooth it out since I didn't press it yet. 2 fingers. And you got your loops. Put it off to the side. Time for the straps. And the way I'm doing my straps is the same way I do a scrunchie. I know some people do the burrito method. I personally don't like the burrito method. I just like my seams to kind of be down more, which the burrito method, you can kind of put your seams down, but you gotta flip it a little bit more. I don't like to close it on the side. I like to close it on the ends. So that's just a preference, but this is how you would do if you was doing a scrunchie, and then just add elastic basically. You'll put elastic on the inside and you have a scrunchie. Same way you do your straps. A lot of stuff can be done the same exact way. Now for the straps, instead of sewing together, I'm going to try to make sure that this seam is centered. You're going to serge the ends of each strap. Okay, so I should have, crap. Not thinking. I don't like the serge end to be on one of the straps, the part that they're going to tie. I don't like the serge to be on the, how can I put it? I don't like my serge to be on the outside, the part that's going to be tied, because that's going to be on the outside of the skirt. Not thinking, I went ahead and flipped this, so I'm going to have to flip that one inside out. But I'm kind of going to do it, serge it at an angle to kind of create like a bow look. You know how when you do a hair bow, you kind of have that angle? Well, I don't know. My brain say angle. I hope y'all know what I'm talking about. But I'm going to try to serge it on an angle to create me a tip. And make sure you at the right direction of your fabric. What part going to be going down when you do the tip. Now, even though this is on the outside, I do kind of heat seal my ends just so it won't come undone on the inside of their outfit. And then I flip it. And flipping it a little bit trickier, because now I need to come out with it. That's why I was like, oh, this was easy to flip. Well, that was because I'm thinking of it, because I kept saying the word scrunchie, and I'm thinking of it as a scrunchie instead of it being a strap, because I was trying to explain to y'all it's the same concept, but kinda it's not, because you don't want where they're gonna tie their bow to have that serge, this black line. So with that being said, now this one you would need like a little, it'll go easier if you had a little dowel. I don't know, KJ had my dowel, my smaller one. But if you had like a little dowel, you could stick it in here to push it through. But you don't want to do it with scissors or anything, because you don't want to punch a hole. So, sorry, this part gonna take me a little bit longer. And then I gotta flip the other one and do it correctly. But you just don't want that end. I mean, well, I don't want that end. If you're going for the because I do have a dress, I call it As I Am, because it's like raw seam showing. It's just showing that no matter, I don't know, how you look, then you're perfect the way you are. So it's a cute little dress that all the seams are kind of, not all the seams, but the seams are kind of exposed at the top and the bottom, the sleeve and all that. And it's just like As I Am dress. Because, you know, kids are getting bullied and stuff nowadays. And think they gotta have all the Jordans and stuff, but it's just showing that even though the seams are exposed, some of the seams, not the seams, I guess I need to stop saying seams, the raw edges are exposed, you still are perfect the way you are, because it's still a cute, you know, dress or whatever. So if you're going for that look, I just don't really do that look when it comes to cotton or whatever. I haven't did that in a cotton look, but I guess it could work. Then that's fine to leave your serge in on the outside. But for this look, I want it to be more clean. So I am doing it this way. I don't know where that girl did with my little dab. Let's see if I can use this. Oh, it's not long enough. So this is the most time consuming part, is if you're doing overalls, is the flipping to me. My husband installed these LED lights inside the ceiling fan, so my room is way more lit compared to the last video we did. However, since they in the ceiling fan, it kind of cast off more of a shadow. Just trying to shake it some to get some of that fabric out, but it creates like more of a little shadow in the videos. At least we got more light, I guess. But I be trying to give an overhead view, because I don't know, when I'm watching people videos, sometimes I like to see it from the top versus the side. But y'all let me know if y'all like the side better, the top better, or what. Because with the top, I do get a shadow. With the side, I probably won't have a shadow, or it won't be as noticeable of a shadow. But when I'm watching somebody sew, I like to see down into the machine, sort of, if that makes sense. Almost to the finish line. Now what I'm gonna do for this end, you could do it for the loops. My fingers are just way too fat to be trying to put the loops, do it for the loops. But I'm gonna kind of leave a part of it tucked in, and then like a small part, kind of like if you was doing like a little hem, leave it tucked in, and then I'm gonna sew it down that way. That way I won't have a serge in on the outside when it comes to my straps, like be exposed like it is for the loops. But the loops are in the back. The strap part will be down in the front. So, on the end that we just did, this end right here, I'm gonna leave it tucked in a little bit like this. Sorry, I'm trying to get this little corner piece out. That's the only crazy part, is turning these corners. So after we did all that, guess what? It's still upside down, y'all. So I'm gonna make this the front. I'm gonna make this, even though it got my point on it, I'm gonna stick it in and then create a point on this end. Cause child, we still made the fabric. Because if I put this in the back, see how Starbucks is upside down? But if I put this in the, put this one in the corner in the back, see how Starbucks is flowing the right direction, like reading from top to bottom versus bottom to top. So she's not gonna have a pretty little angled thing for her thing, because clearly, even though I told y'all make sure y'all fabric going the right direction, I don't practice what I preach. So with that being said, since I'm not gonna have an angle anyway, I'm not gonna flip this one back inside out, because I'm gonna have to tuck it anyway, because I'm not gonna have an angle showing. So I'm just gonna tuck it in like this and do it, and then tuck it in like this and sew it down. So are we done with the serger? Yes, I believe we are. So I'm gonna move the serger out the way, and that way we can go ahead and finish these skirts. Shut up, TJ. You know my brain don't work like this. This is why I don't go live. When y'all be talking about, let me see how you be sewing, child. It be making sense when I'm doing it. And then when I'm done doing it, I be like, what did you just do? So, now y'all get to see my little mistakes as I sew. This why I be like, how I'm gonna teach somebody, and I be kind of making mistakes myself. And what I should have did on this one too, y'all, serged it this way. So this part, the serge end will be tucked inside the loop, but it's a way to fix that. I'm just gonna create a pocket. I'm gonna sew it down right here and then flip it out so that serge end won't stick out. See? So what I should have done is serged it with the seam side up. So when you flip your loop out, this serger part won't do. You know what? If I'm put up the serger, let's just do that. See? It be trial and error. You'll think I have made this before. But shoot, my brain don't be working sometimes. So with that, sewing that this way, now when you sew your loop down, you got a pretty outside of your loop, and the serge end is not facing out. Okay? So just ignore everything we did a while ago. And serge it with your seam facing out. There we go. Much, much better. Much better. Okay, let me turn the serger off, move it to my cutting table. That way y'all can see me. So, unplug it so it won't hit the camera. Okay, let's see how far down I need to come. It's a delay on the video. Okay. Now I always start at the hem of the skirt, and I thought Dunkin' Donuts had a little bit more black in there, and it doesn't. So I will change out the thread when I get to the Dunkin' Donut one. So when I hem it and stuff and do the elastic black, it won't be black. Even though I only sew in black and white, if it is a light colored fabric, I try to put it white. A dark colored, I try to put it black. Now if I was making like a fabric with no pattern on it, then I try to match the match the threads. I try, unless I know the white or the black is not gonna be as noticeable. Like if it was navy blue, I ain't gonna lie, I probably still sew it in black. If it was like a tan, I probably still sew it in black. Just be 100% honest with you guys. Okay, let me move the iPad out the way. And what did I just do with my child? I'll put them way over here. My little clippers. And I love these clippers when it's coming to clipping like your little thread pieces. So we're gonna do the hem first. So make sure, I'm gonna say this again, make sure your fabric is going the right direction. We got it this time. So we're gonna start off with the hem. Now, on most sewing machines, it's not made onto this table, so you're able to stick, say, the fabric under the sewing machine. But with this particular sewing machine, it's flat, so I can't put the fabric under it. But it's a lot easier. You can, let me move my serger one more time. I hope y'all can see if I move it. So my other sewing machine, hold on, let me drop this. Hopefully you can see it. So my other sewing machine has this gap under it, so you can easily stick the fabric under it while I'm sewing it. It'll kind of loop around, and it pulls a nice curved edge. But with this sewing machine, it doesn't do that. So you have to ensure that you're not sewing on top of the fabric. So just be careful if you have a more industrial sewing machine, that when you're going around in a circle, you're not sewing on top of your fabric. Because, say for instance, as I'm sewing right here, this can bunch up and get the fabric. So you just got to kind of make sure your stuff stays smooth and you're not sewing on top of your fabric. The kind that has the gateway underneath, I don't want to do it this way. That has the gateway underneath, it's easier to loop through. And the reason why I flip my fabric over, I am the type that I know a lot of people sew with the bad side facing up, but in my experience, if a thread is going to mess up, it usually mess up at the bobbin side. Where if I sew with my pretty side down, my bobbin thread is now on top. So if anything mess up, you're going to see it. But if I sew with my pretty side up, if my bobbin mess up, you're not going to see it because it's going to be on the inside of the skirt. So that's my preference. Even when I'm making tutus or anything, I sew with my pretty side up versus down. I know a lot of people sew it opposite. I need to see because I have had threads that jam or kind of double stitch, or I don't know how to explain it, but it's very noticeable on the pretty side because that's the side facing out versus a customer or a client looking at the inside and say, hey, this double stitched or this. So I sew my pretty side up. And then don't forget the back stitch. And this is the simple skirt, so it'll be a lot faster when we go around. And I'm just using my fingers to feel where my serge end is to make sure I'm stitched underneath. I mean, you know that I'm catching the serge end. Oh, it's not even sewing. My bobbin didn't catch. Hold on 1 second. Sometimes my bobbin don't catch and I have to catch it myself. And most sewing machines now, unless it's industrial, you don't have to do the bobbin like that. It'll automatically catch when you thread it. You don't have to pull it up. I'm talking about do it like that. You don't have to pull up the bobbin. Okay, back stitch. Try to be as straight as possible because it is noticeable. Even though it's not perfect, it's gonna be a circle. So if you're not 100% straight, it's not gonna be real noticeable, but you try to be as straight as possible. And make sure you're catching, try to stay as close to the bottom as possible, and make sure you're catching the folded. But if you stay close to the bottom, you're definitely gonna catch the serge end. And I use when I'm doing like the hems or a top stitch, I use a small thread, what is it called, stitch width. So mine is on 3 right now because it's not, it makes it look to me cleaner. I barely stitch higher or sew, sorry, higher than a 3. Just depending on your machine. My machine only goes up to a 5. So I try to stay in the middle at a 3. My other machine, I think, goes up to an 8. And I try to keep it around like a 4. I think it might be 9, so I might keep it 4.5. But I usually don't go over half when I'm doing like a hemline or doing my elastic casing. And I'm kind of like creasing it when I'm holding it down. Then I'll show you guys the next way, if you did not serge the end, how you kind of fold it over like I showed you, but how you kind of sew it down. But you just have to double fold it so you won't have any raw edges exposed. And if you can sew a straight line, you can make the, even if you can't sew a perfect straight line, if you can sew a straight line, you can make this skirt. It's that simple. And I think it's a woman on Etsy sell these skirts for like $35 for this simple skirt, and hers is not the double flowy that our second skirt is going to be. So just keep that in mind. Now, since I have to switch my thread, I am going to finish both Starbucks before I move to the Dunkin' Donut one. Just because I'm switching my thread. Yeah, I'm going to do Starbucks, both Starbucks in the black. If I was on my other sewing machine, I could do this a little bit quicker because I know my fabrics are not folding under. But on this sewing machine, I like to keep it simple. Now this was the simple skirt, not the extra flowy one, so we almost back around to the front anyway. And then you would do the elastic and you will be done. Again, I'm gonna put the measurements in the group for the skirt. Okay, and I just backstitch and now finish. Lift my presser foot, trim my ends. Now for the casing for the top of the skirt, I'm still gonna do my pretty side out. It's a little bit more tricky. I might not do my pretty side out. It is trickier to do your pretty side out when you're doing the elastic, because you really need to see where you're sewing to make sure you're sewing as close to the end of the elastic as possible. Now my elastic is, I think 3/4 of an inch. I can't remember. Let's see. Oh no, it's 1/2 of an inch elastic. So I'm gonna sew my casing about 3/4 of an inch. If you were doing, I could have did one of them a paper bag skirt. If you were doing a paper bag skirt, you would do your casing a lot wider, because you're gonna sew your elastic here close to the seam, and then you will sew another line, and that's what gives it that paper bag look. We'll do a paper bag skirt another day, because paper bag skirts, you have to add on an inch to the length, because you don't want it to be too short, because you're doing such a larger top. But basically you would do kind of like a separate line for a casing, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? You'll do a separate line like close to here, and that way you'll have all this gathered at the top. That's like a paper bag skirt. But we could do that at a different video. Maybe one of these extra skirts I got over here, since I got this extra fabric. We could do it as a paper bag skirt. So since 1/2 inch, I'm gonna do my stitch on 3/4. And I try not to do my my casing too close to the elastic, only because as you're doing your elastic through, you know, pushing it through, it can easily snap a stitch if it's too tight, like you're trying to force the elastic through. So I do mine at 3/4 of an inch. So up here it's at 3/4, but my table has a ruler also at the bottom. So at the bottom, I'm keeping it on the second line from 19 to try to keep it as lined up as possible. Back stitch, but you're gonna leave an opening to put your elastic through. But we're gonna back stitch right here, and then you'll see the opening later. I'm trying to sew right where my serge line was. So you want to have a whole bunch of different lines on the skirt. Okay, we almost back around. And I'm going to leave probably like a 3-finger opening. I told you I measure with my fingers and back stitch. Now I'm going to show y'all what I was talking about when your pretty side is down. It's not real bad. It's not real noticeable. It's a back stitch. Ain't nothing you can do about it because you have to back stitch. But I'm going to just show you the difference. Where I back stitch up here, you could barely see because it's the pretty side where my line is. But on the bobbin side, you can see. It's going to be gathered. It's going to be covered. It's not noticeable. It is what it is. You have to back stitch. But you can see your bobbin line don't make such a perfect line as your top line. However, when it comes to elastics, you don't really need to care about the bottom line because you want to be on the line with your elastic. So that's why I don't mind stitching with the pretty side down. Then on the simple skirt, if you had a label, I didn't say this because I don't have a label. Need to do better. But the person that was making my labels is no longer in business, so I got to find a new person. Anywho, on the simple skirt, since there is one seam, this is where I will put my label in the back. I still will do it in this seam just because I like it kind of tucked under in the seam versus coming down. But it will be in the back because there is only one seam. And you don't want that one seam to the side. You want it in the back. Okay? Hope that made sense. While I'm right here, I'm going to go ahead, since we on the same outfit, I'm going to go ahead and do this strap. I'm going to tuck it down just a little bit. Because clearly we couldn't do the angle because I don't know which way a direction should go. So I'm going to tuck it in to create a straight because the other strap is going to be straight so they can mimic each other. You know what? Make this a whole lot easier for me. Just cut it straight. Okay. Now I'm going to tuck it in. And I'm going to go ahead and sew this down. Right on the edge. This one, you don't want to leave no seam allowance or anything like that. You want to be as close to the edge as possible. And just get... I pulled my thread out. Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry. Got to re-thread my machine. My hand caught it. But you want to be as close to the edge as possible because you want it to look clean. And then you're going to sew on top of that same line when you're sewing it into the skirt. But you don't sew it into the skirt until after you put the elastic in. I actually have a video that I made. I have a lot of videos that I made. One of the paper bag skirt. But child, I'm trying to figure out how to do this editing and then getting the videos because I record on my phone, off my phone, to the computer so I can edit. It's just a lot. I didn't even realize how. When I was originally recording, I didn't realize how much it is to do. Now I know going forward, if I'm trying to make you guys a video, girl, I can't thread this for nothing. If I'm trying to make you guys a video, if something happened, like I would just keep the camera rolling, because I would usually have to get up to go around to turn it off, and I would just keep it rolling. But keeping it rolling, you got a lot of extra unnecessary stuff you got to edit out. However, if I was to start and stop the stuff that I didn't want in the video, then it would be extra. I mean, make sure you backstitch. It'll be easier if I stop the camera, less editing. So it's just a learning process. So I will have some videos up soon, hopefully, for you guys on YouTube to look at. And then if y'all see any patterns or anything y'all want me to try, if I haven't done it before, no big deal. I'll try it out with y'all on live from start to finish and stuff like that. But you gotta find me. If it's something like weird, I ain't gonna say weird, but something like difficult or a lot time consuming, I would ask that you at least share, try to find a pattern instead of me trying to create it. It's easier for me to tweak a pattern than create a pattern. Just be honest. Because you get a lot of trial and error when you don't have a pattern. And we'll probably be on live all day. But if I could tweak a pattern or just work straight from the pattern, it's a lot easier. So when you sending me examples of stuff you want to learn, please try to see if it comes with a pattern. It'll be greatly appreciated. Especially if you look on Etsy. You don't have to buy the pattern. I'll buy it. Just try to send a link to the pattern, please. Okay, I'm just making sure it's centered. And then sewing it down. We're gonna finish this skirt off. Then we'll move to the second skirt. And then I'm gonna just press it off camera. And then I'll insert pictures in a group of the finished products on the mannequin. I gotta take pictures outside just because it is kind of dark in here when it comes to pictures. And trying to bring a backdrop in here because I got fabric and stuff on the walls. It's just easier to do outside or in the garage. So I upload pictures to the group. Okay, so now we're gonna cut the elastic at 19 inches because I did her 3T this time. Just so she'll be able to wear it a little longer because it is cool outside. And I need 3 elastics because we just did 3 skirts. Right, exactly. Okay. Oh, I forgot you went on at the beginning, TJ, when I was talking about the size. So yeah, I did her a 3T. To ensure she can fit it. As well as I know she'll still be able to fit it with a 2T. Because it ain't that much of a difference in length and width. But I want to guarantee she can fit it a little bit longer. Because clearly it took me a minute. Okay. So find my opening, and I'm literally just gonna put the elastic through. I try to make it curl. See how the elastic kind of curls? Try to have the curl part on the inside of the skirt so it'll naturally help curve the skirt. Make sure your elastic don't come Oh, for the next one I use that other elastic thread I have, this one. Because I can't really use it for for socks. But I can use it for, let me get one more piece of safety pin. I can't really use it for socks, but I can use it for skirts because this little part punches a hole through the tool sometimes. So I had to stop using it for my skirts. For my socks. I'm gonna take this piece so you don't want to pull the elastic through. And just hold it on. And just come all the way through. Now see, as you can see, it's forming gathers. The gathers are it's just not as flowy of a skirt. It's still flow because remember, she's 19 inches. It's a 36-inch wide fabric, I believe, because average fabrics are 36 to 44 inches, but I think this one was 36. So it's gonna give her, I'm trying to hold on to this while I talk. It's gonna give her a small little gather of flowy like skirt. So not tight like a pencil skirt because she's still a kid, but it's not as flowy as the next one will be. Now, you can sew this elastic one of two ways. You can sew it like this, but if you sew it like this, when it comes in, it's gonna kind of stick out so it won't lay flat. I like to sew my skirts the elastic on top of each other. It's easier if you come from the back of your machine to sew it flat versus trying to come from the front or hold it over, and then you just go back and forth. I go back and forth a lot of times. Then I'm gonna make like a square and put like a X in the square. So then, I went too far, but then I turn it because I want the elastic to hold super well. And then I go back and forth a couple times again. Then I turn it. Back and forth. Because that's the worst thing, is for it to come undone inside the skirt. And then across the bottom. Because if it come undone inside the skirt, you got to redo the skirt. Here. Well, not redo it, but you know, pop it open. And fix it. Then I'm going to do from corner to corner. And you don't have to be this extra with it. I'm just making sure it's extra secure. I know some people use glue. I don't use glue. Then I go to the other corner. Stitch over to the other corner. And then back and forth. I don't use glue for my elastic. Oh, shoot. I'm glad this on the inside because that show no pretty line. And there you have it. And then it's just cut. Now see how this little elastic didn't come all the way to the end? I just clipped it. Not a big deal. Clip that one. Well, that one won't clip. But see how I got the X with the square? This better. This is how I do mine. And the only thing I don't do like this is the anklets. That one I would have did it, but this one is going in her back. So I kind of slide the X over there where the seam is at. But since this one is going in her back, I don't want nothing poking out. So now you come close the hole. You just do it back how you had it and close the hole. Still back stitch. You might have to pull on it just a tad bit because now you have elastic in there. and back stitch. And there you have it. So if you was not doing overalls, this would be the end. Trimming your threads, of course. But this will be the end of the skirt. You will now have a perfect, let me push the elastic around or whatever. Now you have a perfect simple skirt. That will be it. Not too many gathers, but still enough gathering where it be a nice skirt. Now, since we're doing elastic, this is 9 inches in width. So, I mean, not since we're doing elastic, child. Since we're doing overalls, I'm going to come in, again, by 2 fingers on each side. Make sure your fabric going the right direction. Starbucks is reading down, okay? Cause I'm struggling today. I struggle. So pay attention. Don't be like me. Do as I say, not as I do. Two fingers, and when I'm saying 2 fingers, where the side of the strap starts. 2 fingers where the side of the strap starts. And pin it in. Let me see if I got 2 or clips. You can use clip. 2 more pins. I'm gonna go ahead and pin in the loops while I have it flat. Oh shoot! Did I knock down the loops with my serger? Child, I see 1 loop. Please don't tell me the other loop fell. Hold on, I'm gonna have to get up, y'all. Sorry. So where this seam is in the strap, see the seam we got? That's what I'm gonna try to line the loop up with, is with that seam. But I'm also gonna put it down low with the serger seam. That makes sense? So I'm lining it up the middle with the strap seam. The bottom where we serged it at. So when I'm sewing, hopefully it's sewing on top of the line we already made. But that way, you know, the loop is in the center of the strap. And then the bottom, we can serge it where we already serged it. Hope that made sense. I mean, we sew where we already sewed it. Not serge. We're doing it on the serger line, but we're sewing where we already sewed it. And then when I sew it for the strap, I'm going to sew it on the strap line. But I'm also going to come and tack it down up here. Because if you only sew it at the bottom, your strap is going to come away from your elastic. When they get to tie it, you want your elastic to lay flat. So I'm going to put like 2 or 3 little stitches to kind of not where it's noticeable. I'm not going to go all the way across. Let me see how wide my strap is. See, I play with it to see how it look. Yeah, I am going to come all the way across. Never mind. So I'm going to pull out my elastic, come all the way across on the strap, as close to the top as possible where it's not too noticeable. Try not to sew your elastic. If you sew your elastic, not a big deal, but try not to, if you can, avoid the elastic. So the elastic can still move freely in the skirt. I'm going to do that on both sides. Hold on, let me see. When I put the serger up here, I lost the loop. Give me 1 second. Probably when I pulled it down to re-show y'all. I got this fabric that we just sewn. I hope I didn't accidentally throw it away, guys. Y'all don't see me throw that loop away, did y'all? see if it fell in my basket of orders. I don't see the second loop. Well, we're gonna pretend it's there. It's gonna drive me crazy. It must have fell down here on my orders. I got a pile of orders that I have to do in this little box thing. Because if it's not on the table, that's the only place it could have fell unless I threw it away. Oh, here it is. Yep. Right in the box of orders. Okay. So same thing. In the middle of the seam, but down below on the serger seam. Now on the loop part, hold on, let me get this pin in. Ah, come on. Okay, there we go. Now on the loop part, I'm gonna sew on that line, but I'm gonna try to pull this back and do a stitch underneath the loop just so it can have two places secured. So I'm gonna start with the loops. Hopefully you guys can see it pretty good. Let me see. I'm trying to move the fabric out the way. Hold it down. Let's see. Let's see. It's a little delay. Well, you don't see the loop, but you see where my presser foot is. So I have my presser foot on the serger line and then on the loop. It's all kind of blended in together. So I'm sewing on the serger line. I'm sewing down and I'm gonna back stitch it, and I'm gonna back stitch it as I go, because I want this loop to, I want this stitch to be as strong as possible, because you know this is where they'll be tugging on it the most. Hold on, I'm trying to keep my elastic out the way, keep this pin out the way, keep everything out the way. Okay. And it's kind of thick, so you got to play with your machine a little bit. And I got an industrial machine, and I still got to play with it. Okay, so I stitched it back and forth as I stitched. Okay. So I can take the pin out now. Get all these little threads. So now I can take the pin out. And what I'm going to try to do on this, the top part, is kind of sew. It's kind of tight fit. If I can get my foot in there, I'm going to sew it at the top of the elastic, but only the, I'm going to sew it up here, but I'm going to try to only sew the part that's touching the skirt down. Not this part, because you ain't going to be able to put your strap through. Just the back part. Well, for us right now, it's the back part, the outside part. The part that's closest to the pretty side. I'm going to try to get this in this presser foot. Now, this part you might sew your elastic a little bit. It's okay, because you're more worried about getting it down. But try not to sew the two straps together. That's what I'm trying to do. Back stitch. Kind of take your time. It's not a rush. If you can't get all the way across, that's fine. Any little bit across you can get will help where the loop won't come fold forward. Okay, perfect. Back stitch. Okay, make sure I didn't sew nothing down. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, so now see, I got the loop kind of sewn down. So when they pulling it through, then it got an extra security, and the loop ain't flopping all over the place. Now I know some people that don't sew the inside of the loop down. That's fine too. It will give them more flexibility for the loops to move. But with her being only 3, and she probably gonna be, I mean, no, she's 2. Her being only 2, and she's gonna be moving all over the place, probably a lot more, then I want to secure this strap. An older kid, I would not secure the strap because that gives more leeway for when you're pulling the strap through. Let me sew this down. Sew this one down, then I'll show you what I'm trying to say. And then I'll close the straps, and you kind of see what I'm the freedom that it has if you don't sew the top down versus the freedom that it don't have. And remember, kind of stretch out your elastic when you're sewing this part down. Okay. And then Mom, if she wants the freedom at the top, she can always pop them top seams loose. Totally up to her, but I'm gonna show you the freedom versus the non-freedom that it has. I kind of like it secured in place for a younger child because they be all over the place. You don't want that strap to be too loose because it creates a lot of pull on it. But when you're strapping them through, you're crisscrossing it. That strap not moving. This loop not moving. See how you pull it through? The strap is in place, but that means that it's not moving too. So wherever it ends is how the skirt will tie at the back, if that makes sense. So you're creating a loop that's more stable and it has less movement. So that strap is not gonna give when it comes to tying, but that's okay for me. Now for KJ, I do make her straps a little bit more giving, just because as you tying it, you see how you can bring that loop back across to create a tighter bow. But doing all that, KJ not, well, she might crawl all over the floor, but she less likely to crawl and get down on the floor and play, so she's gonna have less movement on her straps. But see how that moves all over the place? That creates a better bow, but it creates more movement for a younger child that may move all over the place. And if it was for an older child, the strap, I wouldn't strap it at the seam. I mean, I wouldn't have sewn it down at the seam. I would sew it more here to create even more movement for the loops, just to get a better bow. But for younger kids, I like to sew it down. Just my preference. Yeah, the bow is not as tighter of a bow. I mean, you still get it tight, but it might scrunch the skirt up just a tad bit more than if you left the loops loose. But it's your preference. I just like the security because I know the child is going to be moving around, and I don't want the child to be playing and a skirt come popping the loops. So that's just what I do. When it usually under 3, I secure it down. Unless it's a baby, then their show can stay loose because they measurements are a little bit different. So probably like 12 months and the 3T, I strap it down. I sew it down. Well, that's what I've been doing. And nobody has said anything about the less of the movement. They probably didn't even realize. And they just still tie a nice bow. Now from the front, same thing we did with the loops, except instead of going underneath, we, can sew just straight, easier sew. And yes, the overalls take a little bit longer, or a suspender skirt, whatever you want to call it, does take a little bit longer. Make sure you backstitch. Try to stay on that seam. And then I'm going to sew it down at the top. Try not to get the elastic. If you do, no big deal. Back stitch. Sewing it at the top, don't create this perfect little skirt look in the front, or, I mean, oops, see, I missed the doggone thing. I left a little gap. This is why I sew pretty side up, too, so you can see better what you're sewing. It don't create this perfect look at the front, because you see the lines. But usually the skirt be gathered on them, so it's not as noticeable. But I rather, again, my straps be secure than worried about you see a stitch line. That's just, again, my preference. You're more than welcome to take what I do and tweak it for your own liking. But the way we sewed it, usually it kind of hides under the little fold over of the thing. The line hides a little bit. So next strap, and then we are done with the first skirt, and the next two will be a lot more simpler. Just because they're not suspenders. But hey, I don't know how long we've been on live, but we done did 3 skirts. We had some technical difficulties. I'm stopping, make sure I'm explaining it. Had it been just you simply sewing, it goes a lot quicker, I promise. Back stitch. Clean all these threads up when I finish. And yes, you could sew it in a green fabric, but sometimes to me, the green fabric is, I mean, not green fabric, y'all, listen to me. Green thread, but sometimes to me, the green thread is a little bit more noticeable, because sometimes the greens don't match, and it's way more obvious than the green not matching than if you sew it in a simple black, and it's black in the outfit or the material. Okay, but there we have it. I'm gonna press this down before I take a picture. But I gotta probably add some more stuff to it. I don't know, shirt for sure. But you have your little suspender skirt. Tie a nice little bow. Makes it adjustable for the parent to tie. If you want a longer, bigger bow, more fabric. A wider bow, wider than a 4.5 or 4-inch we cut. It'll be tied better, but they give some leeway. I don't like real long because it creates choking hazard. I don't like real long straps. But there we have the little suspender skirt. can barely see, but you'll see better when I do the pictures. Off to the next one. Okay, now we got to do our hem and our elastic line. And again, it takes a little bit longer because it's more fabric, but it's not as time consuming. I'm glad you like it. I shouldn't let you come on my live so you'd be surprised. But I'm glad you like it. And thanks for watching and supporting me like you do. Stitch. I want to see you ask for a sewing machine for Christmas if you ain't already got one. I knew it. I swear to God, I was just about to say, I think you already got one and ain't pulled it out, ma'am. Or it might be pulled out, but you ain't used it that I saw. I was just about to say that. Nah, yeah. I'm going to stop making stuff for you. Because you could have made this like, first time, because you probably be a little bit nervous by 20, 30 minutes. But after that, you can whip her up skirts in no time. I just did 3, so don't let my time distract you, because I just did I'm doing 3 of them. And then you saw that my fabrics was upside down. I did my strap wrong and all them technical difficulties. But truly, like when I was making KJ hers for school, it really only took 10 or 15 minutes, to be 100% honest. So simple, so easy. You don't have to have a serger. It makes it cleaner, more professional, but it's not required. Everywhere I serge, you just fold over or tuck in. And some sewing machines have like an overcast stitch where you can it'll create like a serge. I don't like the way that look. I rather just fold it in. But it is a way, and then it's a way to do a hidden seam where your seam won't be noticeable on the inside. But that's like team too much when it comes to a simple skirt. That's why they call it a simple skirt for a reason. You said no, you coming. Let me call Mr. L and let him know that I'm challenging you to a skirt, ma'am. You know, you're sitting over there on that sewing machine and not doing nothing with it. Like, you know what? She won't even need me. She can make her own. I'll be like, yeah, she paid me about $100. You know, I gotta kind of amp it up a little bit. And she could have made this free of charge. Gotta add a little extra to it. I clean. We're gonna go on FaceTime one day and see you actually do something with it. Be like, oh, 500. She paid me 500. Okay, so we got the hem all the way around. Again, it took a little bit. It didn't take that long, but it took a little bit longer just because it is an extra flowy skirt. Now we're finna do the casing for the elastic and we'll be done. And I'll show y'all this different elastic thing. Same elastic, so same seam allowance, 3/4 of an inch. Much as my sister drinks Starbucks, that extra fabric might go to Rizzy. I don't remember if I backstitch. But baby, I was cutting away. I'm like, dang, this seemed thick. I don't know what I was thinking. I think that's how that first Dunkin' Donuts was. One was folded up and one was folded down. I mean, faced up and face down for the words because it was folded over. Because I'm like, dang, this little skirt sure used a lot of fabric. But I thought I was tripping because I was like, maybe I got KJ 2 yards. No, I knew I didn't. And it was all me. That's why you always check how they fold your fabric. And I didn't even do it because I was so excited to get this out to you. Because, baby, I know it's been a minute. And I wasn't even paying attention because I'm trying to get this in the mail for you. I still got to think what I'm going to do. Child, for a shirt and the rest of this fabric. Yeah, but see, she got sisters and so they'll be wanting matching sets and all that. Child. Plus, she didn't wake up. I don't even think she on my live. And if she ain't on my live, she don't get no perks. I might do them a sister set. I don't know. I don't think she deserved one. But it's your fabric. You gotta look. Be mailing it back to you. So you can make your own. Whatever you tell me to do with your fabric, I have to do. Okay, limbo opening, back stitch, done. Put the elastic in and we are good to go, boo. And just so you know, when I'm not live, I still talk to myself. Just, it gets me through. Just so you know. So me talking comes real easy because I talk to myself anyway. Anywho, so I use this. I didn't even show y'all. So it pops up. It comes like this. It pops up on this end. You put the elastic through here. You close it to secure it. Then you use this point to kind of feed it through like you do a safety pin. You still got to secure the other end. I don't want to pull it all the way through. I might not do the, how long we been live? You always taking up for her. I might not do the Dunkin' Donuts on live because it's literally the same exact thing and we already been live 2 hours. So I might not do the Dunkin' Donut skirt on live, but it's really that quick, so I'll probably go and do it on live. I figure out what I'm gonna do with the rest of this fabric. I mean the fabric outside of the 2 extra skirts, since she's saying do my little sister 2 babies a skirt. Outside of those 2 extra skirts, we all the way through, pushing it through. But outside of those, I still got extra fabric. I haven't decided. You weren't in here in the beginning, so I was talking about making her maybe some matching anklets, scrunchie, purse, something. I know you don't want it too matchy where everything match, but you got quite a bit fabric left over. Not a lot, but enough where I can do some more stuff out of it. Close the elastics the same way that we did earlier. But I think 7 will like a little purse or something. I know she loves ponytails, so scrunchy. I'll figure something out. You know my birthday next week, so you might not get it till after my birthday. Depending on how fast I figure something out. Because I do have 2 rush orders that I just got the other day. But it will be definitely soon that you get, that I put it in the mail. My brain just ain't working. What else I want to add to it? I know you typing something. I'll look in just 1 second. Now I'm doing my X. Okay, do my X again, and then literally just pull it inside the fabric and sew it closed. Let me see what you were saying. I love anklets. I know you love anklets. Oh yeah, she like a purse. I figured that. I'm surprised you're working now. You should be on vacation, girl. My little cousin is doing an early Christmas party for the kids, and you know my birthday not till next weekend, but she doing a early Christmas party for the kids, and then she wanted it's this weekend, and she wanted some favors for the kids, so I'm gonna do boxes. Oh Lord, I thought I came all the way across. So she wanted boxes. I'm supposed to be doing hot chocolate buns, so I need to go and get started, child. Because again, it's Saturday. But hot chocolate buns, boxes with, I think she got chips, juice, and Rice Krispie. And then some young lady reached out to me and wanted a last minute tutu, but I'm gonna knock that out this weekend because I'm not, like you said, I'm not working next week. So I'm gonna do her tutu set. It's a real simple. Probably do it Saturday. Okay, KJ killing me with this cheer. Right now they've been having practice. Tuesdays is her normal day. Then they added on Wednesday, and they added on a Saturday, child. So, yeah, so I'll be at practice. And he said since I signed her up for all this stuff, he's not taking her. He'll take her if I'm real busy or if I don't feel good. Other than that, he said it's on me. So see how extra flowy this one is? I like the extra flowies. I had one customer that did not like the extra flowy or whatever. I'm gonna tuck these straps in the other one just so you can see the difference of the flowness. Bag up some. But this is the difference. See how wide this one is compared to this one? You got this extra part sticking out. You'll see better on a mannequin versus it. I mean, they both flowy. One just stick out a little bit more than the other one. I love the way all KJs got the extra flowy. I think one might didn't, but I love the way, because she like to spin, and when you spin it'll twirl a lot more or whatever. I know you like anklets, but either I can make solid green anklets, which of course would be cute, or I might do both. Or let me change the color of this thread while I'm talking. Solid green anklets out of ribbon. But I was talking about how KJ anklets was out of the same fabric. I just thought that was too matchy. So if I do a purse and a scrunchie, her anklets will be solid green, or green and black. I ain't gonna say solid green, you know, I don't do nothing just solid for the most part. But if I do make like Dunkin' Donuts, I might do the anklets out of the fabric, or whichever one had the least amount of fabric. I might do the anklets out of the fabric while the other do ribbon anklets, and then a scrunchie and a purse or something. I don't know, child. I'll figure out something. And then if I do, at least she can wear like jeans, the fabric anklet, and the shirt. You know, you can mix and match multiple outfits or whatever I decide to do. You can always do multiple outfits. You know how to mix and match the piece. I don't know why I'm talking to you like you don't, but you'll mix and match it how you want to mix and match it. If I do send you a lot of stuff out of this fabric, you just mix and match it the way you see fit. That's the good thing about with this yard of fabric. You could do a lot out of it. Probably really only needed a half a yard, but most people only sell it by the yard. But you can do a lot more out of it. And you can mix and match how you want to mix and match, child. I'm going to just send a set. You do what you want to do with it. Or whatever. Because it's a, I don't know. Depending on how I feel, it's this green fabric. But I think it's too green to go with the Starbucks. But I was thinking about doing something else with the extra fabric. I don't know what I'm going to do. But you'll get it soon. Trust me, you'll get it soon. As soon as my brain start to work. You'll get it. I just don't know what. Like, I think some pink and orange anklets will be really cute with this Dunkin' Donut. But then again, the Dunkin' Donut material, I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know. I just know you will have a full set. How you gonna have that full set? I don't know. Instead of a scrunchie, I might do 2 little bows or 1 big bow. But she normally only wear 1 ponytail. Well, she wears 2 sometimes. I don't know, girl. I'm just talking. This is how I do when a person tell me, do what you want to do. Do an outfit. I kind of talk myself through it. And wherever it lands, that's what it end up. I like having creative control, but my brain goes so many different places sometimes. I like them to just say, this is what I want. But I know, like, if I do a purse and an anklet, you'll probably throw it on with the same shirt, jeans, and a purse versus everything together, and she look like a walking billboard. So I know that I'm probably gonna just send it, and I know you're gonna put it together. So I'm not really worried about it. Just so I can use up your fabric. Because it's still, even after those extra 2 skirts, I still got a nice amount of fabric left that I could do. do something with it. Not so much the one with the overalls, but the other one. Some skirts. Hey, baby. A little girl toddler skirts. I'll show you. It was 2 yards. No wonder. I was like, yeah. Then you got some left over. It's like this, Trina. It was Starbucks. Then I made an overall set. This one is like the suspender skirt with the little suspenders. It's for Miss TJ that's on the live. Got the suspenders. I saw a picture in the group. And then this Dunkin' Donut one. It was 2 yards? Jesus. I sure thought you got a yard. Well, no wonder I got extra skirts. Because I'm like, I thought you told me a yard of each. Child. It came from China? Why did I think? Well, then I need the link to it. Because I sure thought you got it off of Etsy. Because if it came from China, yeah, we'll talk offline. Because if it came from China, I ain't going to put these in the shop. Because it take too long to get it. Once I get the fabric, I can put it in there. But I sure thought it came off of Etsy. Oh. The shop closed. Shut the front door. Well, my the lady I told you about, I don't know, my stuff hung up at the post office, but remember I told you I found somebody? I think she do cotton fabrics too. And you can send her a thing, because I found one locally, not locally, in the States that do custom fabrics. But they high. And I'm like, yeah, they're high to me. The way cheaper, hey, way cheaper for the one in China. But I think the lady who I ordered some, like I told you, to see if I'm gonna start like selling fabrics, ribbons, and the leather for the bows. I ordered some. It's already in the States. It's been at the post office since the 10th. But I know the 11th was a holiday. I haven't checked it lately to see if it moved. But I think she does cotton. If it's good quality, then maybe it won't be, of course, this exact design. But I can send her different designs. And she makes custom fabrics. And I can do different fabrics or whatever. Trying to line this up. But you know, she'll come through and I make some different fabrics. But the only bad thing, you know, that stuff to be taken with, you know, because you ordered this one, but it said it was gonna be here December the 4th, and she got it in the States. I ordered it the end of October. I had to look and see. But it did say it wasn't gonna be here to December the 4th, but it's been in the States since November the 10th, so it's actually early. I'm just hoping they didn't lose my stuff at the post office, because I don't know. I mean, it's like literally 10 minutes from me. I'm at the point where I'm like, do I need to come pick it up? But I know the 11th was a holiday. But here we are Wednesday, so I said I was going to check it today and see if it moved. And if not, I will be giving them a call. But if it's good quality, baby, I'm going to get her to make all kinds of. Send her files for like some, see if I can find somebody that can draw or something to make some custom fabrics that you ain't seen before. Hold on, I think I saw y'all typing. Oh, you probably got copyright hit. Oh, yeah. Was it on AliExpress or was it like on Etsy but from China? It was on AliExpress. Then I don't think when they actually posting from China, I don't think they have the same U.S. copyright laws like we have. Cause baby, they got everything on Etsy from China. Oh, okay, yeah. Then that's different because they selling on a U.S. site. They have to follow those laws. But on AliExpress, if you know the shop name, they're probably on AliExpress. Because on AliExpress, they don't have the same, from my understanding, the copyright laws. That's why you see more copyrighted stuff on AliExpress. Because unless the copyright is in China, it doesn't apply to them, from my understanding. But I don't know. I won't be advertising it like that though, because I ain't trying to get my shop shut down over no skirt, no Starbucks skirt. But I do like it. They are some really pretty fabrics and good quality from what I can see. The white is a little bit more see-through. Look at me about to pull this elastic all the way through. I had to catch it. The white is a little bit more see-through. It won't be as noticeable when it's gathered. But of course, well, I know she wears shorts under her fabric. I mean, her skirts anyway. But most whites like that are see-through. So I don't think it's a thin cotton. I think it's a nice thickness of cotton. It's just that the white is a little bit more see-through, but I don't think it's just a thin fabric. I just think just the way it was printed. I'm trying to keep it in the camera so y'all can see me, but you know my arm's kind of short. It's a lot of fabric. You know she be covered. Oh yeah. Trust me, I know. You mess up a cute skirt or tutu having a pull-up showing. Right. What? No, I didn't get that. You mess up a cute skirt or tutu having a pull-up showing. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm like, what? A pull-up or pamper. You know what I thought you was trying to say? Like somebody pull up on me because I thought you was talking about the copyright thing. I'm like, yeah. And then I'm like, how you mess up a cute... What? Yeah, you talking about a pamper. Shoot, panties too. You know, it's crazy. Weirdos out here nowadays. You can't be letting your baby's panties show. That's why I be telling people with my tutus, they shout. You gotta wear something under them. Sorry. But if it's any longer, it's not a tutu, it's a skirt in my eyes. So you gotta put something under it. And plus, they kind of tomboyish, hun, KJ. They like to play and have fun. So she probably turned a flip in the skirt. This is the last one. We're at the finish line, guys. I'm not going to show the X on this one just because it's not as noticeable white on white. You get it? But you saw it the other two times. I'm doing the same thing. I'm just not going to show it. I don't know if Saturday I'm gonna go live or just record me making a tutu. I might go live since I haven't been live making a tutu yet. Just the anklets. I think it was the anklets. And the these skirts. So I might show you guys how I do the tutu Saturday. Or I might, because I be wanting to watch stuff, I might just record it. I don't know what I'm gonna do. But I say I'm gonna record it, and then I haven't got editing down pack, and then it'll be forever for y'all get to see it. So with that being said, I'll probably just go live. But you just move the elastic around, kind of even it all out. I mean, not move the elastic, but you know what I mean, the fabric. And there we have it, Miss Dunkin' Donuts. And that is it. Our 3 skirts, Dunkin', Starbucks, Suspender, and I really like this fabric of the Starbucks. I might do my sister 2 girls in this and do KJ in this one. I really like this one. I think I got enough, but I already cut it, so it might be too short for KJ. Or whatever, but I like it. It might be KJ a top with some leggings, some black leggings, and she wear it as a shirt. But it's been real. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate y'all. Till we catch each other on the flip side. Bye. Thanks, TJ. Oh, you said she does all the tumbling and yep. Well, thanks for the fabric. Like I said, once I figure out what else I'm gonna do with it, then I'll be shipping it to you soon. I'll let you know. All right, bye. Y'all have a good one. If I can end the live.